All right, I'm getting into the heart of my testing between the RIP9 27.5 and a mid-travel 29er, which is currently a Giant Trance 29. So I'm heading down to Santos, and I'm going to be riding these bikes back to back. I'm going to be switching back and forth. I like Santos because it's my go-to spot when I can't get to the mountains, but I really want to test a bike. It's got drops, it's got tight stuff, it's got technical terrain. So if there's one place that the 27.5 is really going to shine, it's on these types of trails, because there are some really tight stuff and there are some punchy climbs. So you're accelerating quickly to try to get up a climb, and then you're braking quickly because you're coming down a hill and having to brake hard to get into the next corner. And that's where 27.5 really shines, because they accelerate just a tad quicker and they brake a tad quicker. Even though you don't have quite the traction, I still feel like the braking is just a little bit quicker. And of course, in these tight corners, they're just a little bit more agile. I'm really trying to decide if my trail bike is going to be a 27.5 that's around 150 mil travel, or a 29er that's going to be about 130, 140 mil travel in the front and about 120 in the back. That's the test. Let's get going. All right, I'm down at Santos and ready to go. I'm gonna start off on the 27.5. I'll probably ride it for about half an hour, and I'll come back, get the 29, and do the same trails. So I really want to pay attention to how each bike feels on the same trails. So here's a little drop I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna do a few drops on this ride. So one thing that I've noticed about the shorter travel 29ers is they feel like they have more travel than the numbers say they do, until you hit a drop. And then you feel like you blow through that rear travel. That one felt good on this 27.5 because there's like a little rock right after that. So it's definitely not a smooth landing on that one. It's got 3 to 4 foot drop. All right, time to hit some technical trails. Tight and technical. See, these switchbacks are so nice on this 27.5. I've noticed that from my past experience, that 27.5 gets around switchbacks so well, especially when you're climbing. The nice thing about 29 though is they hold momentum a little bit better, so be curious to see which one I think gets around switchbacks better. Setting my bars on the tree back there. These 780 wide bars are pretty wide. It's a cool section coming up here. Y'all doing all right?
Yeah. Good.
Oh, this 27.5 gets around tight stuff so well. But stuff like that where you need momentum, I think the 29 is gonna be a little bit better. Oh yeah, that's probably harder than it looks on the GoPro. Some big rocks you have to negotiate there. There's a section that I'm going to come down, give a good little indication of how the travel will soak up some of that stuff. Kind of a drop and then a couple little small little rocks that you got to go over. So that's a fairly technical little climb there. And this 27.5 did great. I actually didn't expect it to do that well. Drop here. Here's a technical climb that's got a rock at the top. That looks like you're supposed to go around it, but it's easiest to go over it. See how the 27.5 does. Other than clipping out of my pedal, it was fine. I love the suspension on this bike. Oh my gosh. You know, I feel like I can feel the suspension working more on this 27.5 RIP9 than I could on the 29 version of it. I really have to negotiate this tree here. Ooh. All right, I did not put my foot down. I promise you. So it should be noted that I'm actually running this bike in the high setting right now, which is where I would normally run it for these trails. I just need the agility of it. Okay, so I'm back at the car to get some food and water and to swap bikes. I had probably more fun on that 27.5 than I thought I would. And the thing that really surprises me about that bike is how stiff it is. I don't know if it's the wheels, the frame, but man, it just pops in and out of corners like in a big way. But the Giant has carbon rims and it's also a full carbon frame. All right, so on the 29er now. I'm gonna do this little drop here that I did on the 27.5. I blew right through the travel on that. Wow. I tell you, when you're going slow and it's really technical and rocky, that's where this 29er shines. God, this is gonna be a hard choice, guys. This is not gonna be easy. Both of these bikes have such good strong points about them. I tell you, the RIP9 27.5 feels stiffer in a good way, like laterally. Like it feels more precise. I don't know if that's because of the, like I said earlier, if it's just a stiffer frame. I think it's a combination of the frame is just designed better, a little bit stiffer, and smaller wheels so they don't flex as much. Even though these are carbon, I think both of those make a bike, and it has a carbon bar, so that's probably a little bit of it too. God, that 27.5 RIP9 is sweet, guys. It is, and girls. There's a lot of girls that shred who watch my channel.
Right up. Like I said, that's a tough little climb that I did before in the 27.5. I don't know if it's easier on this bike. It felt about the same. Another reason the 27.5 feels stiffer on the front end is because it has a 36 instead of a 34. That makes a pretty big difference, actually. All right, this is that one little climb with a rock I made last time. I usually make it, but it's still a little tricky. You gotta get your pedals just right for that. I think I even hit the chain ring. Yeah, this bike still feels like it's pretty agile. It's not quite as snappy as the 27.5, but you know, that's why I like these shorter travel 29ers. The ones that are like, you know, 130, 140 up front, as opposed to a full-on enduro bike. They just make better trail bikes. They're just more agile, more versatile. Yeah, this is a fun bike too. Oh, they're both good. I'm gonna have to do a lot of comparison to really make this decision for me. I'm gonna give you all the best information I can on these two bikes based on my experience, but everybody's got to kind of make the final decision for themselves on what's important.
Back out for the second time on the 27.5.
All right, so here's where it's starting to get a little chunky. All right, no problem so far on the 27.5. Rocky got to launch off a little bit. All right, that felt good. Let's see if it's smoother on the 29er when I come back through. In the chunky stuff. Tad smoother on the 29er. That's kind of to be expected. Got a little too close to that rock.
So that was a really good day of riding. There are a few things that I want to mention about both bikes, but I'm going to save that for another video because this one's getting pretty long, and I'm going to go grab a burrito and make some notes of the plus and minuses of both bikes and kind of articulate that in a whole separate video. It's hard to pick a winner. It really is. If you had to force me to pick one, I would say it's the one I'm going to mention in the next video. You're going to have to wait because I really want to give both their respect and talk about the strengths and weaknesses of both before I say which one I would pick. Like I said, it's hard. Like, they're both really good out here, but there is one that's a little bit of my favorites. So I will save that for the next video. Thanks for watching.